funny collaborations for Halloween. I'm going to have Jeff talk to your guy about ideas. And if you got any others, keep sending them. Hey guys, sorry, just finishing up a couple things. What about Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker?
Darth Vader, definitely no.
Right?
Both costumes, for sure.
Hey, what about us doing a Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker? I got a Darth Vader shirt. Just got to be black pants. I got the cape. I got the helmet, and I got all that stuff. Not sure if you'll fit it.
We got lightsabers.
You got a huge head. Because you're such a big boy, you probably got a big head. But we'll see if we can fit this. And I got the lightsabers and all that stuff. So I think we do some kind of that as well. All right. What do we got going? What do we got going? Much love from Washington. Hey, Washington. All the best up there. All the best to you guys. Is this already on IG, my friend? No? No. I'll go. Let me do something else here. Look at this cat.
What's up, dude?
Hey, Playboy.
How you doing?
Well, good news. 1 million viewer, 1 million. I guess it's just 1 million, a mil on YouTube. Yeah. So YouTube sent me over a nice little plaque.
That's awesome, dude.
We're getting there, kid.
On to the next one.
There. What do they do next? Probably nothing until 2 million or something. Or is a mil? That's kind of the top thing.
Oh no, there's diamond. 10 million.
Yeah, there's guys like 15, 20 million. I seen one guy who was like, he had a collection of these things. I was like, holy cow, man! How the hell do you get that many subscribers? I mean, it gets pretty
Who's the
crazy.
guy's name again?
The
kid in Florida that I was going to team up with. No, the number one.
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. It's Halloween. It's coming to that time, brother.
Yeah, I know. I got a big Halloween party. Oh, nice. Daredevil? Uh-oh.
Yeah, I got to show the jawline, I think.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think Daredevil's a good costume for sure. I think it might be Spider-Man this year. I had to resort. We're supposed to go as the Warriors. Remember that movie from the 80s? Actually,
Do I remember it? It wasn't from the 80s. I think it was 78, 79.
Yeah, 79, actually.
Warriors come out to play.
Yes. So anybody like the concept was brought up by Skeleton because we're going to this. I sponsor this huge Halloween party that's going to be going on this Saturday, and he's like, "Let's go as like the Warriors." I'm like, so these guys got all these vests and the whole night. I couldn't get my vest in time, so they're gonna have all these vests. It'll be pretty cool. Will anybody know except for like, I hate to say, somebody of our age or older? Definitely not for sure.
I wouldn't even think the 40-year-olds would know that one. So you're impressed. I'm impressed that you even know that movie.
Of course, I've watched everything, man, before my time and obviously to the present. I love movies, so and Warriors was definitely a good movie. Everybody's like, what's the background on it? So I mean that's a whole different story, but yeah, good movie for sure.
The early years. I did go as not Snake Plissken, but Jack Burton one year.
Ooh.
Jack Burton. So that's Kurt Russell for you guys that don't know. Big Trouble in Little China. So I got the tank top and everything, and the hair was a good mullet like it is today. So it was pretty good.
Yeah, that's super cool. It's super cool. So you got anything for Titan? What's he gonna dress up as this year? Do you know?
Homelander.
Oh, nice.
Homelander's son. Yeah. So when he and I go walking, we're gonna be Homelander and Homelander's son.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'll definitely be cool. Yeah, that's fitting.
It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good
Yes,
one.
sir.
What about you? Are you excited? You still running high off of the weekend?
Definitely run half the weekend for sure. Coming back, just overlooking, everything that went on for sure. It took, because I didn't get a minute to breathe out there. I'm sure you didn't either. It's just been, been kind of crazy. So getting back in the routine, and then kind of looking like, hey, listen, how do we do? What else did we get out of, out there and everything like that? But it was a great experience. Obviously, overcoming the adversities and challenges that we did, and then making the new memories that we did too as well. So I think it was good all the way around. Definitely a lot of people there. Awesome to see the fans and all the supporters.
Yeah.
I mean, super cool, man. Super cool.
It was a great booth to be at. And we had so many cool people come by and hang out. And yeah, absolutely. This is one of my favorites that I will remember for a long time, because there was so many good. The fans are obviously just hanging out and waiting. I appreciate that, how long they waited to get, into the booth. But again, everything that goes on there.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, the stage was awesome, lifted us off the ground, that was cool. And then the magazine cover came out awesome. I think that came out awesome, like perfect, and the pictures got uploaded to Facebook. So anybody that was in those pictures, go to the Titan Medical Center Facebook. That's the only place we could put albums at. So at that point, you guys can go on there and grab your pictures too as well, if you had pictures.
Facebook, would that be at Titan Medical?
Titan Medical Center. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I
Just
can't
'cause
put it
I'd
on
like to
Instagram.
put
I wish I could.
Yeah, Facebook is good. Because is that a like page?
Yeah, it's the business page.
You check on that? Because I think all they have to do is like to be able to see the whole thing. And I'll tell the fans.
I'll send you the pictures too if you don't got them.
I think we're gonna try to do a little collage, a fold through with all the fans that came out there.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be really, really cool. A little montage.
So we got back. Did you get some workout in yesterday or today?
I did today for sure. I went this morning, as soon as I dropped Peter off to his little training, and they still don't got school tomorrow. Like, it's crazy.
So, yeah, what's going on out there? What's the 411?
So, obviously I wasn't here on the ground. I called everybody, checked on everybody. Everybody was all right. A lot of debris, some power in certain areas. I mean, finally power got on for most of Tampa yesterday, so that was good. But when I was driving downtown yesterday, I mean, obviously, like, there was lights that still didn't have power, so there was like cops all around making sure people aren't running like 4-way stops, and at that point, not causing accidents. But majority of things got taken care of yesterday. It was just a lot of debris, what I seen. Obviously a lot of people got flooded. That was in certain areas, and a lot of people lost a lot of stuff. So I mean, I don't know. It's kind of crazy, but it seems like everything's getting back to normal. But we heard from the school yesterday that basically, there's a good amount of schools that still had water in them, and about 100 that didn't have power. So most of those schools, I think, are back to where they need to be now. And they said they're going to bring back the staff tomorrow, and at that point Thursday we should have school.
And your places and everything is okay.
Thank God. Yeah. I mean, the back, where I have the baseball netting and at that point it came down a little bit. So yeah, I got to put that up, but it's nothing compared to what other people had to go
these guys
through.
are going through.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even compare it to that. Like, it's very minimal damage to nothing. So we were very lucky and very blessed at the house not to lose power. My dad was there. Sharice's mom was there. So that was really good. And yeah, the office survived. And we're right by the port over here. So I'm always kind of worried when something like that comes in because, being that close to water, anything can happen.
Well, what do we have then for this week? Let's jump into peptides.
Sure. So the therapy of the week this week is CJC with ipamorelin. So CJC 1295 with ipamorelin. And this is going down the path of the GHRHs, the growth hormone releasing hormone peptides, being able to boost your own natural growth hormone levels, being able to get some anti-aging effect out of it, and being able to recover and repair a lot better and sleep better. So these all go into function with CJC with ipamorelin. So it's a great peptide. And this was one of the peptides was on the ban list that has recently been taken off. So that's a big, big plus. And then I was reading just today. It's really crazy how things are going um, with the FDA and big pharma. So I read today that the FDA has reversed its stance on GLP 1s with the shortage. And if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, let me explain. So GLP 1s were both on the shortage list. So semaglutide, tirzepatide. So Ozempic, Mounjaro, these main products could not keep up with the demand or what was needed. So they go on a shortage list, any drug that can't do this. And when it goes on a shortage list, and the compounding pharmacies can make these medications to get the drug out there. So there's not a shortage in that point or to fill the gap per se. But when that shortage ends, the compounding pharmacies are supposed to stop making those drugs because the commercial product is available and they own the patent on it. So this happened last week. So like last week, my email's blowing up with with vendors that have the commercial product and saying, hey, compounding pharmacies aren't going to make this. We have a good option for you if you want to switch over to us. And as of today, I look at it, I'm like, oh my God. So the FDA reversed the stance that it did last week in saying this. It's really crazy how that works. And it's got to be like, I mean, I read the article and I'll send it to you. It's about lobbyists, basically. Must have been getting to the FDA in their ear. And at that point, it's not going to be able to be banned from getting compounded right now.
So if I understand this correctly, there is the main factor, the main product who has the patent on it.
Yep.
And when they have a shortage, other pharmacies are allowed to make a derivative of that.
Yep.
Right, a white label of that product and send it out there. And now they get to continue to do that, even though the product may come back in for delivery.
So they're supposed to quit when the shortage ends.
Right.
So when the supplier's like, all right, but this stance just reverses this now.
So they do get to continue, even though.
Continue.
Okay, so I do understand it correctly. Okay, perfect. Wow, it's great for the pharmacies, and also
it's not only great for the pharmacies; it's great for the patients because majority of those compounded versions, I mean, they're like 1/3 of the cost of what you would get a commercial product for.
That's got to be irritating to the people that got the patent.
Yeah, but think about it. If it's on the shortage list, they're selling it hand over fist.
I know.
I know they're missing out on money.
The fact that those kind of companies and what they've done through the decades, it's like, I'm all right with it. I'm all right that other people are making some other financing and the people that are using it. Somebody came up to me today and talked to me about those products, those type of products that will get you that extra weight loss.
Yep.
And he said that he was going to just jump right onto that. What's your take on someone just going from ground zero to getting right on there?
I guess it depends on the person too, right? I mean, if it's a person that's been obese or overweight, and at that point it's pretty much tried everything, then this might be a good option for them. I mean, there's different people out there that just want to jump on it because of the hype, and they're just looking for some short-term weight loss effect, and they'll want to jump on it. I mean, I was talking to Dave Palumbo, at Olympia, and he's a big advocate of ours and sends a lot of people our way. And there's some bodybuilders that are on it, right? They're utilizing it for fat loss. And me and him were talking about that because, people are starting to come out there and, oh, well, you're going to lose muscle by taking this drug. And if you don't eat, of course, you're going to lose muscle either way. So, I mean, that was just one discussion we had. But I think if it's the right person, right scenario, then yes, I think it's a good option. But do I think that they should be doing all of our essentials? And I always bring this up. I always think that we should lead into this because I don't want anybody thinking that, oh, let's just go to the drug first. I think we should talk about, eating correctly, exercising, sleeping, drinking water. Like I said, all those core things. But at that point, if you're doing these things or you're working your way towards doing all these things, I guess, working one thing at a time, then I think it would be a good option for some people, especially if you have a BMI over 30. That's where it's supposed to be prescribed to people that are BMI over 30, that are obese and overweight. And at that point, there's no other option for them. Or some that might have cardiovascular issues that can't use stimulants. I think that might be an option. But I think if it's 5, 10, 15 pounds. Maybe AOD might be another good one for them instead of taking the GLP-1. But I guess it's a lot of factors, right? Like, or is this a 22-year-old male that's 20 pounds overweight, no other health issues? Or is it a 40-year-old guy that has cardiovascular disease, is morbidly obese, and, has no other way, I guess, of losing weight, but use this and some good exercise and nutrition. So it's really a case-by-case scenario, I think.
I was curious about that too, because I'm always going to be the guy that says that you should probably start a regimen first.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy couldn't be much more than 28, 29 years old. And he wasn't 30%. He's maybe, I'm not really sure what his body fat was, but he wasn't an obese guy.
Right.
And I just kind of said to him, I said, why don't you try to diet for a bit and just eat correctly and work out correctly?
Mm-hmm.
And then, give that 8 weeks and then step to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get all these extra helps as you go. You can not just do that. You could do some peptides as you continue forward on your journey. Maybe your T levels aren't where they're supposed to be, so maybe check on that as well.
Right.
But it was interesting from a guy that I assume played probably sports because he was about my size, but much, much younger. But it was interesting how little he knew on how the body worked. Because I asked him, I said, well, so you're saying you're going to start fasting, you're going to do all those kind of things, you're going to start doing 2 hours a
Are you hardwired?
Yeah. Tim, I was trying to show you earlier.
me or not? And he's back. Let me know.
Sorry,
You guys are good again?
I apologize. Yeah, we got fuzzy for a second.
No, don't be, brother. We know how it is down there. Don't worry about that. So he has options, right? This is a guy that's never done anything.
Mm-hmm.
He's been training like 2 weeks here in town from South Africa. I'm like, maybe start just slowly and let your body adapt, and then build that regimen.
I agree. I definitely agree with what you're saying. I mean, you should definitely do these things first. And then if you think something else is wrong, blood work might be the key. And then kind of going down that path. But I think that, yeah, you're right. I mean, the guy should get a good regimen going all the way around before maybe jumping right into this, especially a 28-year-old, right? Their body can jump pretty quick, I think, and adapt pretty quick and move.
Right? I just, for anybody out there, I think they think, I don't know, I could be wrong, but it seems a lot of conversations I had over the weekend was just start and go. But I'm sitting there going, well, you got options now. You got so many options now with HRT and Titan Medical. They give you so many things that you can do, that you can just start with the Hercules potion. You can start with just some stuff after you get your blood work.
Mm-hmm.
And then make those decisions as you continue forward, but still build up the base stuff, the nutrition, the sleep, the training, the regimen about it, instead of depending solely on something else. Because I don't want them to sit there and go, I've been doing this for 6 months and nothing's happened.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't change it all. You didn't take the benefit that Big John is handing you. You're handing them this incredible tool to, no matter how bad their body is, how it's not working with them, that you're there to help them get it working well. How do you talk to these people that are coming over just going, I don't want to change my lifestyle, I just want to do this?
I tell them that's the wrong way, and then you're going to set yourself up for failure. Even if you take a GLP-1, you're going to lose the weight, and then nothing's going to change. You're going to gain it all the way back. And do you want to go through that process again, right? Instead of really utilizing it, even if you haven't utilized it, before you start taking the tool, when you start using the tool, that's when you really can start changing things, because you won't be as hungry. You can definitely pick different food sources or eat smaller portions, and this will help you do that. And I think that's the biggest thing. And that's the Titan lifestyle is all about a healthy lifestyle. It's not about taking medications to get you the result. The medications are supposed to be tools to help you. They're supposed to expedite results or to optimize things that might be deficient. So at that point, like, if we're giving you these tools, utilize these tools to the best of your ability. And if you want the best result, that's why I tell people, if you want the best result, then you do these things. If you don't want the best result and you're expecting the best result, you're not going to get it unless you do these things. So it's important. And I tell them, like, because some people they're really just, I don't know if they're just uneducated, they don't care, whatever the excuse is, or the situation, I guess, they got to be able to change some things. So it might be a shock if you're drinking 4 Cokes a day, eat McDonald's 3 times a day, this is the whole week, right? And then what do I do? Just stop eating all the McDonald's and Coke? Start tearing down, right? And start weaning yourself off. It's kind of what it is. Like, it's getting off like a drug. It really is. That stuff is like drugs. It will addict you to a certain extent. I mean, I'm going to go rob my mom for her purse, but to the point where you might be like craving this stuff. Like, that's how it works. People get cravings and then they go after it. And something that's in a routine. Yeah. If you do this every single day, your body gets used to it. You get in the routine of it. I'm like a perfect example. Like, I've gotten to bad routines on my own, man. Like eating donuts every day. If I eat a donut every day, I'm getting the routine of eating a donut every day. I shouldn't do that. I need to say, all right, this is not going to be good for me, and put it aside and start somewhere else. I mean, there's so many ways you can start. And like I said, it might be eating correctly. It might be starting to exercise now. Like, you went once a week, twice a week, and you start really gaining that momentum. But I know this. When you start doing these right things, and if you do need the therapies, that's great. But if you start doing the right things, you're going to get some sort of result, some sort of good result. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care if your hormones are messed up or whatever it is. You might not get the optimal result, but you will get a good result. And if you have all the things working like they should, you'll get an even better result. And what that will do is that will motivate you even more, because people get motivated by seeing themselves or seeing results. Right? Whether it's investing in a stock or something they believe in because they see it moving up time after time after time, or they see their body changing time after time after time. I've seen a ton of people, just at that point, like, get motivated because they've lost 20, 30. Now what's the next goal? 50, 60, and start accomplishing those goals, or building muscle, or building the body or physique that they want to as well. When you start seeing those cuts, and you start seeing that added muscle, you start seeing maybe that 6-pack come in, or those lines come on the side.
Yeah.
You start getting motivated. You're like, oh, damn, like, I got it. I'm going to keep doing this because, you know what? One, you're getting a dopamine effect, right? Just seeing yourself and people saying, man, like, you look really good. What are you doing? That's a compliment to somebody. People are like, oh, no, So at that point, I think that's really the way to go, and get motivated and start doing these things.
I couldn't agree with you any more than that, because the thing I said to this kid was that it's not just the body that starts to change, but it's your mindset. And obviously, it's not the protocol that you're on. It's your actions.
Mm-hmm.
The training, the eating, and the protocol that you're on. It changes who you are mentally, and you become this motivational person like you're talking about, and then you create this whole new habits, and you're a different person.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that's the coolest thing, to see the individuals. And I met so many people this weekend
Mm-hmm.
that were there, waiting to come up and talk, and saying how they dropped 150 pounds. And I would never have assumed they were heavy, because they looked great, and they looked like, and I'm like, great job, man. There was a guy I met that was 200 pounds down.
Yep.
Couldn't be more than his mid-20s. And so we talked about peptides, going over to Titan Medical for his skin, because he's such a youngster too, that this is the time to do it now that he lost that weight. Take care of that skin and the things that could still be an issue and stuff. But just dropping 200 pounds, doing it properly was great. And the mindset of these guys are great.
It's amazing. Definitely is amazing. I don't know how many people came up to us at that booth, but there was quite a few that I talked to personally, like patients. So Super happy to hear that. I love hearing feedback like that and love hearing about people's journeys, especially ones like that, because that's motivating itself. Or even for somebody to post up on their page, like, hey, listen, I lost 100, 150 pounds. And then showing that result too to somebody, that gets people motivated and saying, listen, they can do it, I can do it too. It shows them the way. I mean, it's always harder for the first person to do it. But once the first person does it, people think, oh, it's been done. Now I can do better. I mean, this happens in everything, world records, dunk contests, home run derby, like anything you do, like to set that standard and set that bar. That bar is set, and now people are aiming to go past that bar. So I think it's truly helpful for people out there, whether it's in your network or somebody that's coming across your page or whatever it may be. I think it's awesome.
They're getting hit.
Yeah. Wow. What's going on here? This isn't ours, right? I don't think so, right? Mike? Oh, wow. Let's start this. I mean, do you want to start over here? What's going on? Oh, man. Yeah, so I guess Mike's lagging here. I don't know. Am I still live on here? Okay. All right. Well, I guess there was some talk about melatonin. There was one that says, Mike, at 47, what can I do about golf elbow that's only showing up during the curls? So at that point, what you can do is BPC 157 and TB 500. They're healing peptides, and these peptides would be great for golf elbow, tennis elbow. Oh, cool. Mike is back. I'm like, where did Mike go?
No, keep going, kid.
Sure. So some guy asked, he was 47 years old, Mike, and wanted to ask what he could do for golf elbow. And I told him, I said, BPC 157, TB 500, great for golf elbow, tennis elbow, any acute or chronic injuries, muscle tendons, ligaments, anything as far as that goes, take away inflammation. This will definitely help with any of those aspects. But golf elbow and tennis elbow, man, I don't know how many times it's helped me and helped other people get rid of this. So at that point, that's a good one. And there's no blood work that's needed for it. All you guys have to do is call or text 727-389-3220, nationwide service for all you guys.
Give Johnny some more questions. I love that one, Johnny. I get a lot of those.
Yes. I know, because a lot of people get it. And it's like twisting your wrist on
they were
someone.
asking about the tennis elbow and shoulders.
Yeah, it really does. It's crazy how many people get it. All right. A skeletal muscle mass grows. How often should you take blood work? So we say every 3 to 6 months. That would probably be the recommendation of what it should be. Now, if there's something off in your blood work, then maybe you might retest it after 30 days. It just depends what is up with the blood work, right? And how, OCD or really you want to check on it, be precautionary. And like I said, 3 months, things can change. 6 months, things can change. So within 3 to 6 months, I would say that's a good way to judge how often you should get it. And you get a full in-depth test, not just 1 or 2 different tests, seeing a whole different panel of basically what's going on inside the body.
Hey, I got a couple of questions. When you do your blood work, is a guy not supposed to have sex a couple of days before the procedure, the blood work? Is there something about food as well the day before even?
Yeah, so basically this, all right, if you have PSA problems, prostate problems, right? And usually as you get older, that's when the problems start coming. Usually don't see them like a 20-year-old guy or whatever it may be. But, I'm not going to say it hasn't happened. But if you have prostate issues, then you're going to want to stay away from ejaculating, whether it's sex or self, for at least, 24 to 48 hours. That's what they say, because that can enlarge the prostate. And if the PSA comes back high on a blood test, like even through us, then we're going to want to send you to a specialist to make sure that they assess you, check you, and that you're okay to get on treatment. So that's what it would be. Food wise and stuff like that. So for fasting blood levels, as far as cholesterol go, and fasting glucose levels, sugar levels, you're not going to want to eat, 12 hours, prior to the blood testing. And you can adjust that however you want to, timing wise, whenever you want to go, whether it's 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That is the rule of thumb, 12 hours. Can you drink water or can you drink coffee? They say that that's okay to drink. But if you eat anything, then that could skew the cholesterol testing, and that could skew your fasting glucose level too as well. So these are
All
just
right. Is there something also about water intake?
Yes, for sure. So water intake is going to be key, especially 24 to 48 hours before your blood test. You're going to want to make sure that you're really, really hydrated to go into this blood test. The reason why is because a lot of people go in without drinking water, and a lot of people don't drink the right amount of water each day. So if you're not drinking the right amount of water each day and you go into a blood test, you could look like you're dehydrated, which can directly affect your kidney levels and what they look like, your BUN, your creatinine, your EGFR. These three things could be affected by you not drinking enough water and being dehydrated when you go in. It can make a world of difference. I've seen a world of difference in results from somebody that did not drink water and hasn't drank water a lot. And so they were drinking a half a gallon, the day before the test. Big difference in kidney levels and function all the way through and through.
That's interesting because I know the creatinine in those levels can already be off a bit because of just training and being an elite athlete.
So that would be the
and
next
protein
thing.
Intake, right? Go for it.
Don't train hard the day before you do the blood test because you have the muscle breakdown, and that's going to cause those levels to be affected. So I would not be training the day hard anyway. I wouldn't go like, balls to the wall, like I'm putting everything into it that day, because it can affect those levels. And some providers, when they start seeing your levels go like that, they're going to have an issue with it. I know some doctors, they will say, well, it's because he's an athlete. All right, well, that's fine. I can understand it on maybe one blood test. But if that comes back low, like if it comes back below a 59, then we need to look at it again in 30 days. And we need to assess, like, hey, listen, what does it look like without you training the day before, with you getting proper water? Because I see a lot of people in chronic kidney disease numbers. And at that point, they're not scared about it because the providers tell them, well, it's because you're an athlete. You're going to have different numbers. This could be a little bit lower than somebody else. But I'm telling you, you don't want your numbers there. I know plenty of people that have great numbers that are machines. I mean, and so at that point, like, don't put that at risk because it's hard. Like I said, liver functions, I'm really not that scared of. I could say glutathione, those liver functions are damaged and it kind of goes back. Kidney levels are a lot harder to rejuvenate or revitalize per se.
Can we keep going on that for one more second? Just talk about, I know that if you carry a lot of muscle mass, that also makes the creatinines and all that higher. Is that correct? Or am I completely wrong?
It definitely could, for sure, 100%. But but is that true for everybody? I don't know, because everybody's different and everybody's intaking different things. And I see, some people where they're mass monsters and they look great on the inside. I see some mass monsters that look bad on the inside. So can I say it's just directly towards the kidney and that would be affected by you just gaining a whole bunch of muscle or carrying it? No, but I mean, maybe some guy that's 5'6" and that's 270 pounds shouldn't be carrying around that much weight. And that could directly affect the creatinine and kidney functions too as well. There's just there's so many different variables, Mike, that you really have to, it's a person by person scenario. I mean, you couldn't even say that for everybody out there, because I know a million people that train hard, have sex before the blood test, like me or something. Not even me, like somebody that's hardcore. I don't even consider myself hardcore. I train hard, but I'm not hardcore. Hardcore to me is like you're in there for 2 hours. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but they're just balls to the wall, just beating themselves into oblivion every single day and come out and man, it looks better than mine. So I'm like, man, what can I really say about this person? I can't say, well, you're training hard, you have all this weight on you and your kidney functions look great, and then they should look bad. So I think it's really with the blood and it's really with the genetics, to somebody to a certain degree too as well. I think that does play a certain role. And then I think that, obviously how you're taking care of yourself, how you're eating, what you're putting in your body. I think this directly affects some of the different things too, like kidneys. Because you have power lifters. I was talking to Ed Cohen, right? And he was telling me, he was like, because I had to take a lot of NSAIDs. As a power lifter, I was beat up, inflammation. And things like this could directly affect kidneys too as well. And a lot of people that have, went to almost renal failure by taking a lot of NSAIDs. So different things affect different people, but you got to watch out for certain things because they're going to directly affect your vital organs like that. And at that point, damaging them. And, let's say you have high blood pressure, you're taking NSAIDs, you have diabetes type 2, your kidneys are going to be screwed after a little period of time, maybe a long period of time. Just really depends on how much they're getting beat down. But majority of things, those will beat down. And a lot of people don't know they even have these things going on.
It's true too that you can read the blood work and actually kind of tell the person, hey, you're overtraining, you're doing too much, and the inflammation is showing up on the blood test. Can you go into that just for a second?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we can run a whole bunch of different SKU of tests too as well to show muscle breakdown too as well, and like see reactive proteins in the body and such like that. So we can go really in depth for somebody to tell them, hey, listen, are you really doing the right thing for yourself right now, or are you just doing too much, right? Because if you are doing too much, you might need to back off. That's the whole thing about this is you're getting the warning flags before you hit red. And you can listen to those warning flags. You can't, or you don't want to, whatever it is. But that's what they're there for. And that's what we're doing this for, is they say, listen, if we really want to step it up, or you're really hitting it really hard, or maybe you're not, but we really want to check and see where it's at and how hard you're really hitting it. And is this good for you? Is this sustainable, or is this not sustainable?
Johnny, what do you got for Jeffrey?
All right. Hi. Can you talk about your skin supplements? I'm pushing 40. All right. So GHKCU would probably be the best skin supplement, I would say, because it's a collagen-based amino acid, or not, collagen-based peptide, excuse me. And at that point, they talk about remodeling, resurfacing. Like I was talking to somebody at Olympia about it too. They had, cystic acne on their face and scarring from the cystic acne, and to a lot of the biohackers, and the biohackers were telling them it starts in the gut, which I believe to certain circumstances that the gut is important, and it actually directs a lot of different things. But at that point, like when you have a clean liver and your cystic acne is not going away, what do you do? Because then it's not the liver. If you got the liver in perfect harmony and it's working perfectly and it's in reference range, then what's going on? And that's where GHKCU, I think, can really help patients because of the remodeling, the resurfacing that it could possibly do to the skin and smoothing out the skin in some of those bad areas, which it has. Now, the other portion of this is getting rid of the acne, right? Or holding it back. And this person's not talking about acne on here, but at that point, a lot of people do deal with acne or having acne problems. And that's something you got to start diving deeper into too as well. Is it a hormonal issue or an imbalance that's causing the acne? Is it something possibly in a bacterial infection in the bloodstream that they usually prescribe doxycycline for? Monohydrate, by the way, because there's 2 doxys. And what can you do to combat these different things? And we also have an acne protocol that we have. We have basically we have an antibiotic clear pad that you can use during the day on these affected areas. And then we have a wash that you can utilize in the shower or bathing purposes. And this will slow down and get rid of the acne too as well. So if you're a guy or a girl and you have acne issues, this might be the way. If it gets really bad, I know I've been on Accutane a long, long time ago, and I've talked to people about this, and this is something that I would use as a last case scenario because of possible liver toxicity too as well. But it does work very well. It's something that we don't prescribe, but if that is need for somebody that has really, really bad acne, that's checked all these different things and all these boxes, I think that might be a way to go for some people too.
I love it. The old peptides for the skin.
Oh, yeah.
And we went over peptides for the connective tissue, two of the greatest things.
The other thing, too, I'm sorry about that, would be like CJC or tesamorelin. because they have anti-aging effects too and help with elasticity and skin, hair, and nails. So, I mean, honestly, you could combine those two and really get some really good results and keep those results and slow down the aging clock. I think that's what we all want to do. We all want to slow down the aging clock. I mean, nobody wants to get old because getting old sucks. It doesn't suck for everybody because some people age gracefully, right? Michael,
You want to be able to keep training, keep doing your thing, right?
Exactly. But I mean, you see some 70-year-olds or 80-year-olds, and they're still doing pull-ups. You see some 80-year-olds, and they're in bed dying away. So really, which one do you want to be, and how are you going to take care of yourself so you can be that long-lasting person?
Yeah, I saw some freaks this weekend.
For real.
Guy came up, and I was hearing stories, but he's 67-year-old. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, 67 years old. I would have bet my house maybe 40.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I mean, solid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's just cool to see these phenomenons walking around at the expo, doing what they do and showing what's possible.
We should have brought out Iris. Iris is a big Titan advocate. She's 80 years old. She's in the movie Aging Evolution that you're in, right? Because I met that guy that produced that movie this weekend at Olympia. And he's kind of showing me, he's like, oh, Iris talks about you guys. And Iris is 80, and she's still doing pull-ups. That was my example I was just talking about here earlier. It's just amazing, man, because like I said, I hope I'm able to do pull-ups like that at 80, do 8 to 10 pull-ups at 80 years old. I'm like, wow, that's phenomenal.
Granny?
Yeah. Granny Guns, too.
How old is she?
She's 65.
She's got to be there. Yeah, she's got to be late 60s, 70s, right?
Yeah. So, no, 65.
65. Okay.
Yeah. Which is young nowadays compared to a lot of these people.
Oh, for sure. Frank Zane's 80. Is that correct?
Yeah. Arnold was there this morning with us.
This says 68.
68. Yeah. Yeah, it's in that range. But she's still doing it. And she raises huskies. So I'm a fan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know you got a soft spot for that.
100%.
All right. Recommendations for underweight guy in his 30s. Well, you don't hear too much of this. I don't hear a lot of problems like this. Very far and few between anymore. But if you're underweight and you're a guy in his 30s and you want to gain some lean muscle and start gaining some weight here, one, I would do a blood test. I would see where your levels are at, right? What's going on here? Maybe you're not able to gain muscle because you have low or deficient testosterone levels. If that's not the case and we get the blood work back and everything looks great, then at that point, I would probably recommend MK677 for you because at that point, you're going to need to have some more calories and make sure you're training hard. And by doing this, it should definitely help you stack on some more weight than what you want. And if you're doing the right things like drinking water and you're eating properly and you're getting some sleep, I think you're going to be well on your way to be able to gain some lean body mass and some good weight on that 30-year-old body that you have. I mean, that's the go-to. If somebody asked me, hey, listen, John, what should I do to gain lean muscle mass and I can be disciplined on doing it, then MK677 is going to be the way to go. And if you're underweight and you're not worried about gaining weight, like Peter's like the mindset, like his coach told him, like, just eat anything. And I get the mindset of just eat anything because he's got to get the calories down to gain the weight. But at that point, like, don't dirty bulk the whole thing. Like, if you need to get some of those meals in there once in a while, then do it. But try to stay disciplined to a certain extent, but not to the extent where you're not going to get the calories into as well. I guess if you got to cheat and you're underweight like that, I mean, I guess you can do it. I don't know. What do you think about that, Mike?
I think I got two things. One is that you said this is something you don't hear a lot of. I get a lot of this. The guy that just automatically goes, I'm a hard gainer. They always go, I'm a hard gainer.
Yeah.
And so, but I also find out after a conversation with all of them, what they think they're eating a lot of isn't, gotcha. Oh, I eat all the time. No, you don't. You eat twice a day and they're big meals, but it's not the calorie intake that we're speaking of.
Right,
so,
right.
I love the idea that you sit there, what you just said, though, because on both aspects, the hard gainer could have a problem with his testosterone. And again, the fat guy might have a problem with his test. Anybody can have a problem with that. And you don't know until you do the blood test. So it's a great point that you made. Again, just go get the blood work done so you know what's going on. And then from that, then make the calories correct. And hopefully there's nothing wrong with the blood work in that aspect. But I think also, like what John said, also on your recovery of your sleep. Because like, let's say you're a hard gainer, but your testosterone's okay, but you're also only sleeping 4 or 5 hours. So there's another issue that we have. And so, like you said, the MK,
Gold will help that sleep, help eat. I mean, that's going to raise your IGF-1 levels so you can recharge, you can repair easier, quicker. I mean, it's the go-to for somebody that tells me that I'm underweight and I need to gain, right? And I have some sort of discipline because, even if let's say you're undisciplined, you're not going to drink a lot of water, you're going to eat a whole bunch of garbage, you're going to gain weight. So if you're just looking to gain weight, and then I guess you could do it either way, but I would do it the right way to a certain extent. If you need to get some calories in, high level days, then fine, do it. But try to stick to the programs. Try to do it the right way as much as you possibly can, and get it done, man. Because I know a lot of guys are in this boat, right? And you're right, they don't eat enough. They never eat enough, and they think they do. Like, yeah, I eat all day. I'm like, what do you eat all day? And then I start counting the calories up, and I'm like, man, you barely got 1,500 calories in. You say you eat all day.
It could never be a
right? Unless you eat McDonald's, I'm like,
it's not,
I don't know.
It's not what we want you to do. If just take your body weight, that's your protein intake, double the carbohydrates, and make sure you got at least 100 grams of fat in there. And there's your starting base for your nutrition. But again, you're wasting so much valuable time not knowing what's going on inside. And that's for anybody that's here. If you don't know what's going on inside, you're wasting time, because you could be putting in such diligent work and getting nothing from it because the inside's not working correct.
So true, man. This.
Johnny, you're killing these, baby. I love it.
Yeah. The best herbal testosterone booster. I really don't know the best herbal testosterone booster. I know they said ashwagandha, but at that point, I've seen through blood testing that it does lower cortisol levels. I've seen some 2 testings now. I've seen somebody else taking it, and they tested for cortisol. The cortisol was low in 2 people so far. So I'm going to keep running this on some people that are taking ashwagandha.
It actually, by lowering the cortisol, it raises the testosterone, I guess, then, because cortisol is going to break down the muscle.
Yeah.
So that's the idea of what the product actually does. In a reverse way, it, instead of bumping your testosterone, it just lowers the cortisol, which should allow you to do this. But you really don't want to play with all the hormones like that.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
What about Yohimbe?
Yohimbine, I put that in ECA Ultras. I don't have no problems with Yohimbine at all as far as that goes. Yohimbine's been a really, really good one, but I don't know about as far as boosting testosterone. I don't see anybody that's on ECA Ultras and stuff like that where the testosterone actually getting boosted from where they were at. I've seen some people take it because some people, they don't want to go on hormones. So, like, I don't care. Like, I'll just, like, mask it and do what I need to do. And I want weight loss. So they take ECA Ultras or whatever it may be. And then they finally get on testosterone later on. But at that point, like, to lower cortisol is good because you want high cortisol levels. But to have low cortisol, real low cortisol, is no good either. So it's all about, like I said, harmonic balance and getting those things kind of within range or around a good optimal range. So, that's something you need a blood test, not just it.
Comes back to that nutrition again, also, just real quick, just because you find out that the brain works off of different fats, cholesterol. So it's interesting to find out the blood work to find out and make sure that your levels are good. Because I know a lot of people will go to ground zero when it comes to the fats,
right?
But they stay there all year instead of maybe just a portion of time while they're dieting. They stay there all year. When they don't realize those fats are actually good for you. A certain level of cortisol is good for you. A good amount of a decent amount of inflammation after workouts is actually good for your body.
Absolutely.
Where everybody's like, I want none of this, I want none of that. And it's
Right.
like, okay, that's not how the body really functions.
Right.
So,
Best place to buy peptides for safety, BPC 157. Titan Medical Center. Titan Medical Center services nationwide. We have BPC 157, TB 500, AOD, CJC, IPA, and a lot more different peptides for you guys. All comes from the U.S. licensed pharmacy. You'll see a medical provider beforehand. Everything will be monitored. And at that point, you will have us for your support, anything that you need. So if you guys want to get this, 727-389-3220. All you have to do is do the new patient paperwork, see the medical provider via telemedicine, and you're good to go to order. All right. Can I lose my weight without changing my diet, but just doing exercise? So the whole point is to change the diet, right? I mean, change the diet, change the weight. Obviously, whatever you're doing right now is not working, because you could get a right diet and I think you could still be lean, to a certain extent, right? But if you're getting more fatter per se, or things aren't going the right way for you, then I think this is something you need to look at with exercise, because the old saying is you can't outrun a good diet or a bad diet. Is that what it is? You can't outrun a bad diet. You can't outwork a bad diet. What do you think, Mike? I know what you're going to say.
I think stay with it. I think he's got the right attitude. I think I think keep eating the way you're doing.
Yeah.
We'll check back in 6 months and see how that's going for you, man. All the very best to you. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a good thing for sure.
Johnny, come on, man. That's not positive thinking. That's not. I want to know what this guy's diet or this woman's diet is. Will you let us know how your diet is right now? Because saying you don't want to change it. Maybe you're a chicken and broccoli person. I don't know. I don't know if it's that or you're Chick-fil-A and pizza. So
yeah,
I'd love to hear.
That's what I'm saying, man. If you were eating broccoli and chicken, you would lose weight. You would probably be pretty lean.
I got to tell a story just because I had this happen to me once when I was really still like focused on personal training in person, and I was getting a lot of celebrities, and so I was working with a couple of huge names, and so their co-stars wanted to work with us as well, and so I went on set, and I'm sitting there, and just maybe 3 minutes in the dressing room. So hey, Mike, this is my idea. I'm gonna have you guys train me. We're gonna kick ass. We're gonna do this, but I'm not gonna eat any different than I already eat. I'm gonna stay how I'm eating. I like my pasta. I like my and then what the cream sauce and my pizzas and my JoJo's, and you guys know what JoJo's are. So I go, that is awesome. I'll recommend somebody that could probably help train you. And I was out of there. I was like, I don't understand the concept. And I said that to the kid today. Sorry for taking so long on this, but I jump back to the kid I talked to this morning. If nobody knows, I was approached by somebody that said they're going to start some things, and not just medication, but other things as well. And he's been in the gym for 2 weeks now for the first time in a decade, and he's going to start eating right. And I said to him, I said, you're going from ground zero to 100. Wouldn't you just do one thing at a time and change it and change it and change it? And he goes, well, you could see it just going in one ear out the other. It's an age thing too, or a life thing. And I'm like, you're not grasping anything I'm saying to you right now. You're just going, okay, but if I can't do all 10, can I do 5? I'm like, you're not listening to this. You got to change how you're thinking about this concept. If you think that you can keep eating the way you're eating, which isn't good at your younger stage, and you can continue this into your older stage when we all coast through, it just doesn't work that way. So just going back to this, I'm curious about this, but for everybody out there, man, we got to make sure that we're doing things right when you're younger so you can keep doing it when you're older.
That's right.
And I don't mind that you get mad at yourself that you're not where you want to be. I like that. I like the chip on the shoulder. I like that you're angry and you get up and go, I've had enough. It's time to get going. It's like Johnny said, give a call over to Titan Medical, talk to somebody there, get going on your protocol that will help you get there, but make sure you got the blood work so you understand what's going on. And then talk to his experts. Talk to the people over there that will talk to you about your blood work and what's going on.
Definitely here to help people, man, for sure. And people need help these days, especially with weight loss and to get healthy. Like I said, it's over 70% obese and overweight individuals. It's overweight is 70%, 40% of that is obese. That's crazy when you start.
Did you hear the numbers though for other places? Because
I'll pull the numbers from Europe.
China?
Europe's
Japan?
a lot less. I mean, it's low.
It was Japan or China was 2%. The UK is 28%, and America is over 50%.
That is nuts.
But I love the fact of Japan or China. It is such a low percentage.
It's less than 4%.
Less than 4%. Where, China or Japan? Japan.
US 32%.
What's the population of Japan? Isn't it 1.8 billion?
Japan, though, super small.
China has the most.
Yeah. Japan's 125 million.
125.
Yeah.
And America's 300.
China's 1.4 billion.
1.4 billion. Okay, so I just go. It's so cool that they're at less than 4%.
No, for sure.
Why wouldn't we here in America just go, gosh darn it, we're not doing this right?
I know. And that honestly, that's where it needs to be, where we need to get somebody that's in there that is looking at our food. And I know we were talking about that before. I think that's really, really important. I think that's one of the most important issues. I think that one of, outside of a couple other ones, that is in the top 5 issues to deal with here in the United States. One is our food sources, what we're eating. I think this is crazy because a lot of people eat all these processed foods or sugary foods because there's no other options. There's literally no other options usually when you go out. Like I was just thinking about the airport and everything that I was doing, just traveling back. There wasn't one healthy option for me to eat on the way back. Like
there was no Chick-fil-A.
First of all, it was Sunday, Mike. It was Sunday.
Chick-fil-A.
It was Sunday. 2, I don't like Chick-fil-A. It makes me sick. So at that point, you, Cherise, Peter, Mona, Titan, all eat it. But me, I can't eat it. Even if I wanted to eat it, I couldn't eat it. So at that point, yeah, it was just crazy. But that's the way it is. So I think, honestly, that's a very important thing, that if somebody came in and really did overlook our food like they're supposed to, like the USDA or anybody else is supposed to really look over food, then I think we'd be a lot healthier as far as a country. It would take out a lot of the problems as far as obesity and being overweight and the health issues that a lot of people have, whether it's cancer, whatever. Cancer is an all-time high in almost every category. Every category. I mean, that's a damn shame, man. It means, I don't know. So yeah, that goes right along with health. I mean, eating properly, and I think that's a big proponent is what we put in our body. We are what we eat, right? So we are what we eat. Yeah. I'm not a chicken.
Here we go. This is an important one because I think for a guy,
sure,
you want to make sure that tool's working, and you want to make sure it's working all the time.
Yes.
No matter what age you get to.
So, what would you recommend for mild ED? Now, what would mild ED be? Is that you not getting an erection every so often, or is that you get an erection and going down? Because or is that a soft erection? I guess. I mean, there's a couple different ways you could go. Now, first off, Skinner, I would definitely do a blood test. Or if you're having some sort of stress or something like that may be causing this, because listen, stress can cause ED. It could be not a physical issue. It could be a mental issue. Whether one, you might be fighting with your partner, don't want to be with your partner, something's happened. 2, there could be something in your life that's going on that's super stressing out. I might get fired from my job. This is wrong, whatever. And you just keep dwelling on that subject. So you get one and it goes down. So you obtain an erection. This happens to a lot of guys. So don't be embarrassed at all. So at this point, it goes up, starts coming down, right? This is definitely something you want to start checking with blood work. A free and total testosterone level will tell you, hey, listen, what's going on? I am going through something personal. So this could be it too. So other side of you going through something personal, I would definitely check the free and total testosterone just to see where it's at. Do the full blood test. In case something's wrong, you can fix it. After you go through the personal situation, you can kind of see where you are too as well. But if you correlate both of them, you can say, all right, well, I think it's the personal situation. And I had the blood test and now I have good levels, so I know it's the personal situation. Or, damn, I got the blood levels back and it might not be the personal situation, it might be what's going on here on paper. And then you can make an educated decision about what you want to do. That's what the blood work's there to do. It's to confirm one way or the other maybe what you should do, right? Maybe there's an option on there. Maybe something can help where you can have erections. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm on testosterone replacement therapy. I'm not saying you need it, but at that point, I've been out for 13 years. I don't need Viagra. I don't need Cialis. And I'm telling you what, I've been in some of the most stressful situations I think that a lot of humans haven't been in to a certain extent. I haven't had a gun to my head, thank God. But at that point, business wise and everything else, it's been some seriously stressful things, and other things too. Like my dad having cancer, dog dying, all these different things can affect you mentally and physically. It says, John, went to your site. I'm in Palm Beach. Can I come over and get blood work and peptide therapy, bum, shoulder, elbow, same day? So you can get blood work right here in the office, or I can send you in Palm Beach, not a problem. Peptide therapy, all you have to do is just see the provider. And at that point, it's going to come from a U.S. licensed pharmacy. I don't hold any peptides here or any other medications. We're not the pharmacy. We don't get it from China and ship out peptides directly to patients. That all comes from a U.S. licensed pharmacy prescribed in your name so you can utilize it. But you can get blood work here. You can see the provider here, or you can do it via telemedicine. We can send you in. Not a problem. And you can get these things very quickly too as well. So it doesn't have to be an office. You'll get it in the next couple of days after you see the provider. It should be very simple, very easy, very fast.
Can you go over real quick before the next one?
Sure.
Somebody asked earlier, where can I get peptides and stuff like that? And you gave a great answer. Can you tell them why you wouldn't want to take it off a website? I know that this shouldn't have to be said, but again, not everybody knows. Not everybody understands the difference between that you can just go off a website.
Sure.
Compare.
So if you go on the web and you type in BPC157, there could be 100 different sites that pop up. And you're seeing these sites and you're like, oh, $25 for BPC157. Or if I go to Titan, it's $275, right? Well, they're a lot cheaper. But what's the difference? The difference is if you go to one of these sites and you get, let's say, some peptide off their site, one, it's not going to be for human consumption. It's going to say that on the bottle. And where are they getting these things from? That's the next thing. So they're getting these things from China or India. They had shipped over here. And at that point, they get these little products and they start shipping them out to the customers that are buying off the sites. So there's no testing that's getting done. They can say there's third-party testing, but by who, right? And at that point, like, you have no idea what you're injecting in your body. Is it something good? Is it something bad? We really have no idea. And you really have no idea. So you're playing Russian roulette with your body by injecting something that you have no idea what the hell it is. When you go through us, you're getting it from a U.S. licensed pharmacy. It's not coming from Titan Medical Center. At that point, it's getting third-party tested for a whole bunch of different things like endotoxin testing, sterility testing, right? You know it's going to be good. You know it's going to be the product that you want. And at that point, it's going to help like we say it's going to help. So that's the big difference between getting it from a research chemical site or getting it from Titan Medical Center in a real life U.S. licensed pharmacy. Big difference. Big difference. All right. Question is where you do blood for question is, where do you do a blood test to a private lab, or what type of lab, or just a regular clinic? I asked for a full blood test. You would call Titan Medical Center, call us up, 727-389-3220. Say you want the in-depth blood test or just a blood test for males, because it's going to be in-depth no matter what. That's all we run. And at that point, we're going to set you up with a lab in your zip code. We're going to get some information from you. We're going to get the payment. We're going to send you your prepaid lab requisition slip to your email with a link that has the nearest lab locations to your zip code. All you do is type in that zip code. You'll find that lab. You don't have to set an appointment. You can go right in with that lab slip and your ID. They're going to draw your blood, your labs. We're going to get the results in 3 to 4 business days. We're going to call you to go over some of these results and get you scheduled for your consultation with a provider, so you can go in depth with these things or order some of the different therapies that you may want to order. That easy, that simple.
Johnny's killing it.
Trying.
Always, brother. No, I appreciate this. I appreciate that. We told a lot of people we talked to yesterday about coming back today to ask you those questions. So I'm glad
I love
these
it.
fans are coming back out and hitting us up.
Yeah. More questions, the better. All right. So there's one here. Given the relation of insulin and testosterone, given the relationship of insulin and testosterone, is keto a dog crap idea if you aren't supplementing with tests? So I've never ran keto diet. I know the principle of keto diet and running off fats instead of carbohydrates, but I've never done it myself. Now, I've actually done the testing where I did cut carbs to see if my body would start burning fats instead of carbohydrates, because the body literally runs on one or the other, right, to a certain extent. And there's a breathing test that you can do, and supposedly this is accurate. And I did get to the point where I was, using fat as the main energy source instead of carbohydrates. But I purposely tried to do that for the test. And then after that test, I started eating carbohydrates again and went back in and redid the test. And then it showed that I was using carbohydrates as fuel as testing. Super cool. Have you ever ran that metabolic testing, Mike?
Yeah.
It's like a breathing testing for 15 minutes is what you do?
I haven't done that. I haven't done the breathing.
Yeah.
It's workroom. But I'm not following the guy's questions fully. He's just basically saying, if you're going to do a keto diet, would you run T?
Yeah.
You'd be running T.
It's not going to affect T, though. That, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have low T or high T at that point, one way or the other, your natural function. I mean, I don't think that doing keto is going to affect testosterone levels. I don't know, though. I've heard some people swear to God that their testosterone levels have jumped with keto. So I don't know that is a fact either. It's like we're stuck.
No, you keep going, brother. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I think it's definitely our side here.
All right. What's your ab routine look like? So this is pretty funny. My ab routine.
What do you do? Yeah.
Honestly, I don't do as much as I used to do. I'm going to start really getting on it for this year. What I would do is like lower leg lifts. So either on the ground supporting, or they have like a piece of equipment you can hold yourself up on and do leg lifts, or you can do the old way where you're holding the straps. The only reason I don't do them on the straps anymore is because my shoulders. It hurts my shoulders to do it and hang on like that. So I'll use that piece of equipment, or I'll lay down on the ground and start doing it. Obviously regular crunches and sit-ups inverted to the most level you can possibly invert, and then using weight along with it. So don't start off with a 45-pound, plate if you can't utilize it. You don't hurt yourself doing it. I would start off with like 5 pounds, 10 pounds if you're just getting started. Go to 25 pounds and start working up. I start increasing like every week you do a weight, and that should get you some pretty good abs as far as that goes. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other things you can do. Russian twists. I mean, you can really start getting really, advanced with what you're doing, but stick to the basics to start. I think that's the key. And I know a lot of people say like, abs are made in the kitchen, and do I agree with that to a certain extent? Yes. Cause you have to be lean to have abs, but abs are muscles like anything else. So you have to work out those abs. And at that point, like work lower and work higher abs, like higher and lower portions. and I think obviously you'll get more muscle maturity in your abs if you do that like that. I mean, you've got great abs. I've got decent abs. But I've seen people out there, and at that point, the people that I know have really, really good abs. Some are genetics, but at that point, a lot of hard work goes into getting those abs, whether it's diet and training. Mind and muscle connection is everything. Yes, it is. So if you guys don't know what mind muscle connection is, that's when you can connect directly to the muscle through the mind. And what do I mean by that? I mean, like if you're doing an exercise and you're pumping, right? So you want to feel that mind and muscle connection. So when you're pumping, you feel the blood flow going in and that contraction in the muscle, because the contraction is everything. That means that you're working it, you can feel it, you can go through, the motion of doing it. And at that point, that's when you can really start gaining some muscle and know that your training is becoming very effective. A lot of people I know that are starting off or that are getting into the gym don't have the mind and muscle connection, and they're asking, how do I get the mind and muscle connection? How do I get this? Because I go through the motions, but I still don't feel myself connected with the muscle. And if you have problems doing this, I think that Hercules Potion can definitely be a tool to utilize to gain mind and muscle connection a little bit quicker than what you would without it. And what I mean by that, I mean, if you inject Hercules Potion, especially the muscle that you're working out that day, let's say it's a bicep or chest or whatever it may be, I think that honestly, you'll start feeling it right away because you start feeling that pump almost immediately, and that pump stays. And as you mature more muscle, you'll start gaining that connection. And at that point, you'll start being able to do it to all the different muscles in your body. And that is that's really a great feeling. When you can feel the mind and muscle connection, that's where it's at.
That's the beginning.
Yes, that is.
Question again. Every time.
Go for it.
Sure. Does excessive sexual activities cause muscle or hair loss? Actually, I think it's different, guys. Excessive sexual activity can actually de-stress you, so I wouldn't think you would lose your hair as much or cause muscle loss. All that's going to do is cause endurance. So I guess if you're having excessive hour rounds, you might be burning some calories. So I mean, it's almost like a runner at that point, but I don't think that most guys are doing that. I think that most guys are doing 5 to 10 minutes maybe, and that's kind of like getting on a stair stepper. Unless you got something that's in the tank, and you might go a little bit longer, 30 minutes, maybe that hour session if you're feeling numb down low. Because we do have, I never mentioned this on here, but we do have like pre-ejaculation meds too as well. So if you have pre-ejaculation or you come too quick per se, we do have some medications that can delay the effect of that too. So, but majority of people are not going to do this. I don't think it's going to cause muscle loss. It's definitely not going to cause hair loss, I don't think. Unless, like I said, muscle loss, unless you're going hour rounds, you're going 4 to 5 a day. I don't think you're going to have any problems there.
You're too nice. Maybe you could, for that question.
Yeah.
Let's say hypothetically you do lose muscle and hair. You going to stop having sex or ejaculating?
Hell no. Hell
Thank
no.
you.
I mean,
You're going to be skinny and bald, man. Skinny and bald.
skinny, bald, then you won't get no sex at all. But I mean, think about it. I mean, if you're having sex that much, I mean, you must be doing something right.
Yeah, good. Such an interesting one.
It says, hey, Mike, seeing you do BCAAs and EAAs on top of your protein powder and smoothies, aren't you getting all these aminos just in protein powder? Thanks.
I'm not. I did a blood work with Titan Medical that I tested my aminos on what levels each of the aminos were at to see if I am overloading it.
Yep.
And so I do the Hercules Potion. I do the EAA shots. On top of that, I have BCAAs, EAAs in here in my 2 jugs a gallon. On top of that, I am doing the protein shakes and have them in there. And still, I feel great. And so, no, I make sure to use all that. Here's the downside. There is none.
There is none. You're right.
There's none. It's like, aren't you getting enough? Well, I'm not going to do a blood test every single week to know it. I
No.
did it. I've done it a
Yeah.
couple times, and
Yeah.
it shows that I'm not. You need correctly, but I'm not overloading on it. And so if I'm doing all that and it's not overloading, it's like, wow, that shocked me. I thought for sure I'd be the guy that goes, well, you take too much. Nope. Everybody else out there aren't taking enough of
And
the
usually
BCAA.
you don't get enough aminos and protein powder anyway, right? Unless it's like,
Yeah,
spiked,
I don't know why
guess.
he said that. Yeah, it's like nothing in there.
Right? There's no
Yeah.
there's no aminos and protein
He doesn't
powder
know
unless
that.
it's spiked. Because protein powders are spiked, I guess. So that's what they were spiking with, like with amino acids and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
that's not going on anymore. So you're gonna have to get all these things. Listen, guys, if you're gonna say to somebody, listen, oh, you're gonna get it just from eating all your food or stuff like that. Can it be done? Absolutely. But at that point, you're gonna have to have a hell of a diet. You're gonna have to sit there and eat. And then you got to make sure that you're getting everything in. And at this point, even Mike, who is so regimented and consistent with doing his supplementation, could be off on a couple things. Not all of them. He was really good on majority of those things, but if one or two things are off, hey, listen, at least we see it. And then Mike, he knows down his head, like, all right, I'm going to top this off a little bit more and get what I need. So that's really what it needs. And if you're consistent with it, those levels are never going to go down. So at that point, you just keep doing what you're doing and you're going to be rocking and rolling.
Yeah, I think people, it's like they're trying to borderline stuff, and it's like,
Yeah.
I get my 220 grams of protein, and the guy's 220. It's like, okay,
Right.
I'm just doing a little bit more for me. If I'm 250, I'll do my 270. So
All right.
and aminos and that stuff is the same. It's like the worst thing that can happen is you can pee out something. That's it.
Exactly.
And you just pee it out.
Seriously.
But the worst thing is if I'm not taking it and I'm not doing anything,
Right.
then I'm not recovering. And so I just love this stuff too much. And if it's such an easy thing to do,
Yeah.
the Hercules potion is so easy, and then putting extra stuff in the drink, just simple steps.
Absolutely.
So for me, no, I'm not getting enough in my protein shakes. One more good one. You got time, Johnny?
Yeah, of course. Of course. Mike, I'll die if you can't get rid of my remaining belly fat. Help.
Well, I think Johnny and Titan Medical can help you better than I can help you.
Yeah.
I can just
You
tell you
call
to eat
us.
right, eat green.
Yeah.
Yeah, give them a
Eat
call,
right,
see what's
train.
going on.
Call or text will help you get rid of that remaining belly fat, guaranteed.
Johnny, thanks for hanging, brother. And I'm glad that you guys are back and safe. And
Me too.
again, Olympia
Me too.
was incredible, and it was so much fun to be there with you guys and the whole team. And Peter, wow.
Yes. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
I know you're his
having him
dad
there,
and
for
stuff, but man, what pretty awesome.
sure. Yeah. I was definitely happy for sure. I was definitely proud of him. It was good. It's good to have him out there. I'm glad he missed no school. It was the only benefit of the hurricane was no school for Peter. So
No games, no school.
no games, no school. So he didn't miss any. Thank God. That was the biggest benefit of the hurricane. That was the only upside.
And you guys got to meet Michael Beach, which is how great of a guy.
Dude, Michael Beach is just he's a great human being too as well. That was definitely a great time to hang out with him the whole weekend. Everybody.
Paulo
came out to
Costa.
Paul Acosta, dude. Paul Acosta was another great human being, funny as hell, right? Good personality. I mean, it was just good people, man. It was good all the way around. Definitely was. He had a good vibe. Like it was just, there wasn't no problem like that.
And Ed Cohn was hanging out at the booth so much, and it
Ed
was
Cohn was there. Ron Jones was there. I mean, there was a lot of NDO champ came up. Wait till you guys see the kicking. I know you posted something on Twitter, but wait till you see that full when we get that bad boy. It's gonna be crazy for sure.
oh, they're gonna see it because we're gonna invite Titan Medical on this one. Is that post going up soon? Yeah, right. So yeah, we're gonna post up the champ Titan Medical Peter getting his food knocked out.
Send
40
Peter
minutes.
viral. Let's get Peter viral.
Let's go. When does he start his own page?
He's got his own page. I'll get whatever it is, his handle. He won't, you don't want dad on there, know what it is, whatever. I told him, but you got to get it. Got to get it moving. So I'll get the handle for you, and I'll have him send it so we can we can tag him on it too as well.
Well, like this one says here, I appreciate you taking time, Johnny, and
Of course,
all
man. I
the
appreciate you guys.
info.
So happy, man. So happy. Thank you guys so much.
I'll see you guys next time.
I'll talk to you later, bro.
Bye, Johnny. Hey guys, sorry about the internet today. That was on my side, but Johnny gave so much great information again. I see Jeffrey is doing his blocking people. What? 9.5 weeks to a show. Here we go.
What do you think of the tuna and water diet? Lots of cardio. Spin bike an hour a day till the last week of the show.
Spin bike. Wow.
Spin bike.
Wow.
Upstairs.
Yeah, you're a savage first off on spin bikes. I did that back in the 90s, the spin bike for a couple times here and there. Fun class. Quads overly stimulated. Good for you. You're 9.5 weeks out. So I'm guessing because you're on tuna and water this far out.
Oh,
Is that right?
I just put that together. Yeah.
It says that, right? 9.5 weeks to the show.
Yeah.
What do you think of the tuna and water diet? And so from me not close to being ready.
My head instantly went, oh, he's a week out.
Oh, so you see.
My head instantly.
Oh, okay.
That's why I got lost.
Did you hear what Jeffrey said?
My
Jeffrey
head
thought you were like a
instantly-
week out,
My head instantly
right?
went,
And that's what it would be like the last couple weeks, especially the last week, but not even the last 2 weeks, just the last week
over 2 months.
would be the tuna and water at that point to dehydrate, get the body, get the last bit of the carbs out of the system. But 9.5 weeks makes me think that you're not even slightly close in the sense of you're carrying too much body fat. Because 9.5 weeks, you probably still would have 1 or 2 meals of red meat. Your base protein would be chicken with a little bit of fat in there. You'd still be having your
Options.
oatmeal, your rice, maybe your sweet potatoes still going down. Yes, water, but water is kind of a given. So I don't understand the term water. 278. So cardio crazy. Yes. Yeah. So for 9.5 weeks out, you're 278. Then I agree with you. I think that, yeah, you're just going to have to do it. And I hope everybody else gets this too.
So in that situation, you
In this situation, I'm okay with it because I'm assuming you're carrying an extra something, and you got to get all that off. So yeah, I think this far out. And then here's the great thing: because you're attacking it this far out this way, maybe there's a chance you're ready three weeks out from the show, right? So at that point, you can fill out till the show. So that's an option as well. You know what I mean? So good job mentally. And I think most people will miss that mental part because 9.5 weeks out and jumping on tuna and water, you're a savage.
What would be the best dumbbell bench press depth for chest growth and pain-free pushing?
That's you, my friend. I know guys that can barely move it. And then I know guys that will bring it all the way down and rotate it out so they're even lower. So,
And even both can have great chests.
yeah, both can have great chests. It's your best range of motion that you can do. And some days you'll be more flexible than other days. But that's just kind of like you going in there and doing it. Here's the one thing though, because you put this in there, so I'm trying to think on your statement of pain-free. Hopefully you don't have any tweaks right now. And again, range of motion won't give you injuries. So let's remove that thought. If that's kind of where you're going, saying, I don't want to go too deep because that's where injuries happen. Injuries happen everywhere. It doesn't work that way. So again,
Such a common one.
just stretch the best you possibly can and where you keep it on it. I would say understand that you're bringing in a little tricep action, a little front delt action when you're pulling it back up. But I'm okay with that. I'm not the guy that says you need to only focus on the chest when you're training the chest. Do the best you can and focusing on the chest. But if your front delts are doing some secondary work, that's their secondary muscle. It's going to do some stuff there. It's okay.
Are cables more optimal for chest growth due to the constant resistance?
No, there's resistance on dumbbells. So,
That is the only thing people actually. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
you
there's,
fucking just killed it right there with that.
sorry about that, but no, that's you're incorrect. That there should be tension on the dumbbell throughout the whole movement.
Okay, what about a barbell, Mike?
Same thing there.
Oh
there's
shit!
there's tension on the barbell throughout the
What?
whole movement.
Is that why it works the chest?
Also,
Yeah.
remember, you're the one that's flexing.
Ooh,
You're the one that's giving the tension.
ooh.
So
Well,
it's a good question. I think that's a good question for a beginner
well,
because you
just-
don't
Yeah.
they don't comprehend it.
Yeah, and well, everyone spits out online cables, cables, cables. Do this. If you're young and you're following a lot of young influencers, you'll see a lot of that shit. So what are you gonna expect?
Yeah. Good question, my friend. Go more, Jeffrey. You guys are kicking this, and those are good for YouTube Short.
Mike, is there any merit to your metabolism slowing down if you sustain 10% ish body fat and the same amount of calories for a long time, let's say 2 to 3 years? How would you speed it up again?
More calories.
There it is.
You don't stay with anything for 2 or 3 years. Your body's adapted to it. You got to keep your body guessing, and as you get older, keep it guessing more. But I like the idea because again, these are going to be really helpful for the beginners because I think beginners think if I'm a deficit, I can lose the weight, and your body will just continue to lose weight, and that's not how it does. You guys have all heard that. You guys have heard the person go, oh, on this diet, I lost 10, 15 pounds in the first 3 weeks, and then it stopped. Your body adapts. At no point, none of you have not heard somebody say, you have to keep confusing the body. You all have heard that. And that has to go with nutrition, training, weight load, sleep, food intake, optional on girl. What? Nothing. Ignore that one.
Opinion on Tom Platz doing squats every 2 weeks. Does it take that long to recover?
Question doesn't make sense because everybody's different.
There it is.
Doesn't work. Life doesn't work that way.
There's a lot of questions like that. For bodybuilding, should a fat dude bulk up first and tone down second? Or should a fat dude lose weight first and then bulk up?
You should always find out what you're working with. An extreme fat does absolutely nothing for you. Good question, though. You guys actually good question. And the Tom Platz thing, same thing. You know, Tom Platz at a certain time went to once every 2 weeks, but we train squats every week and leg press every week and extensions every week. So adapt and move.
Would you give advice? What advice would you give to someone who is skinny and trying to bulk?
Eat.
Simple, right?
Yeah, that's it. But I'd give that advice to a guy that's fat and wants to build muscle. I would say eat correctly. You just got to find out where your calorie intake should be. And that's simple. That's like we talked about, just easily just calculate out your protein intake with your body weight and then your carbohydrates doubling and then your fats in a healthy range to make sure that you're still active sexually, your brain's working, and your body's recovering.
What's the optimal split for strength?
I love the power bodybuilding where it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. I love that. But I also, real young, I like the push-pull, the Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. But as you age, then I like how Bryce is doing the 3 days a week. So that's great too. So again, we're going to find out because you're going to be getting stronger and getting better. And so we'll find out as you're doing it, what's best for you. But right there would be the best way to start. That's guaranteed to make you stronger, which is great because it's on average within the first 9 to 12 weeks, you've got 50 pounds stronger on deadlift, 50 pounds on the squat, and 25 pounds on the bench already up.
Thing you would say to your younger self.
Ease up.
Ooh. Ease up.
Ease up.
Ease up on the ladies?
Post nut clarity.
Damn.
That's what I would say.
Do looks matter.
It goes back to that guy saying about Trump. Trump said he only kisses pretty women. What? You don't want to kiss pretty women? That's not cool. Yeah.
I asked a question yesterday about a potential collab with Devin, but the sound wasn't working. Anyways, what is wrestling training into your current regimen?
No. Nope. Focused on different things. I love Devin, and we're definitely going to collaborate. But I could arm wrestle for the next 10 years, and I couldn't give that man a tussle. He's an absolute savage. What do we got, Jeffrey? A couple more?
How do you track electrolytes? Higher sodium intake for people living the bodybuilding lifestyle.
Yeah, make sure you're just not cramping. You're good. What would be the purpose of tracking it?
Tracking your electrolytes? I don't know.
I don't know why you're using that term for electrolytes. Just make sure you're not cramping.
I suffer from low back pain. This happened from deadlifting when I used to train. How can I prevent the pain from getting in the way of my training?
Yeah, we posted that up on YouTube. Make sure to go over there and watch that, talking about lower back and strengthening it. That's the one big thing. And then if you did hurt it, what do the x-rays show and what's going on? And then what's your age at? Because the one thing you want to do is make sure that you do not run away from lower back training. Mm-hmm. And you have to keep doing it. So go watch my YouTube. And on that note, guess who's back? Come here, buddy. Come say hi.
Oh, stop, losers! You're the loser. You're the loser.
I'm the loser?
No.
Come here, give me a hug.
Who's number one? Who's number two?
Daniel's number one.
So Jeffrey's not much of a
I'm not a loser.
loser as much as me.
Give me a high five. If I'm not a loser, give me a high five.
Yeah, high five.
All right. Good job.
Okay, high five. Boom! That's how we do it.
Way to use your head.
Boom!
You missed. Oh! Oh!
You want to put this on? I like that. He's already getting into headbutts. Hey, thanks for hanging out today, guys. I appreciate you guys. Titan is home. We're slicing and dicing. And then yesterday I put something on the Titan crew for you guys to do check-ins. We got that over there for them, right?
Yeah, check-ins are up, locked and loaded till Sunday, 8 p.m.
Today is what, Tuesday?
Yeah, or Tuesday. So you got a whole week to get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whole week. And what we'll do is, I guess when this goes live and stuff, put the link.
Mhm.
It's going okay right now. Yeah. This makes me wonder if it was theirs. but he was still alive on it. So
How's the quality on the camera look, guys? Are we back to Titan HD magnificent 4K? You can see everything. I think that shit's clean. It's clean on my side now.
clean. Thanks for hanging, guys. Any final questions on that bad boy?
Quality is great. What's your favorite cheat meal?
She does just a fruit bowl for me is one of my favorites lately, and then she does the pasta with the chicken pound meatballs and a chicken cutlet on top. It's pretty sick. And I don't know if it's a cheat meal technically. It's just like an off season if putting on. Yeah. So, what do you got?
Has the pressure or anxiety of doing this full time for decades gotten better over time?
It never got.
There never has been pressure or anxiety.
Yeah, there's never been that. I was never the guy that. I was never the guy that competed in anything except for fighting. That no matter what happened, I was wish I was the other guy. I love what I do, and I do it because I love it. It's not because I do it for money or fame. So, yeah, no.
They want the mukbangs.
I got to do the mukbangs, Bobby Sapp. I got to do that.
They want the mukbangs.
And Bobby was the one earlier. He asked the question about.
You got something.
I forgot his question earlier. It was an interesting question though. I remember that. I'm gonna do the mukbangs, and by saying that, I'm messaging Danny.
There we go.
Danny, hold on. This is gonna go right to camera and a close up.
Yes.
See, he is on this right here. We're doing the mukbang, but I'm doing that with Danny Joe. We will lock that date in.
Connections going in.
All right, we're out, guys. Have a great one, man.